So, this word right here, proselytizing, that's how it's pronounced. Proselytizing affects the conversion power. Nothing to do with recruiting. Welcome to Hell's Kitchen, episode 2, where I feel like we need to clear up a few things before we start this episode. Now, I did have a couple of complaints about how I've specialized Anise to be in proselytizing rather than in cooking, which is what she's meant to be. However, we're playing this series for the longevity, and I don't know if you also noticed, but I made Pete, an 8-year-old child, really good at cooking drugs. So, I mean, things aren't necessarily to do with cooking exactly. The idea behind this, and I'd hoped that it wasn't going to be brought up on, was the fact that we're going to specialize each of our characters. Branston is going to be the head of cooking. The Anise is going to be the head of the hotel when we get around to making it. And Pete is our drugs cooker. So that is, just to clear that up as well, I also probably should have mentioned the end goals for this series. That's something that is probably actually quite important. Now, as we are working with food, and anybody that works in the catering industry and within a kitchen knows that a chef's enemy is rodents, rats, insects. Insects being the big one. One of the goals of this series is not only to create a successful economy based around the hotels, drugs, also to be able to make John into the most incredible character just based on food and other things we can give him naturally. I also want to wipe out the insects. Now, we do have some infestations on the map that I've already been pre-spawned in. There's currently 9. I think we'll probably aim to wipe most of these out one way or another, with John ideally leading the pack. And hopefully, Branston and Anise get together again. They make love, and they make sweet, sweet children, and I can make enough sweet, sweet children to make a sweet, sweet army with. But anyway, enough complaining. Welcome to Hell's Kitchen episode 1, and yes, those are the plans for today's episode, so if you enjoy what you see today and are excited to see all the fantastic things I may or may not get up to, consider liking, subscribing, and make sure you tell your mum about it. So let's start by looking at the social tab between Branston and Anise. Now, I have based a lot of this colony's success on these two, so much so that if one of these people die, it's kind of the end of the series, because without Anise, we can't make more children. Without Branston, it would then be up to Pete to make more children with Anise, and that's incest. We don't do that here. No, no, no. But Branston and Anise are kind of getting along again quite nicely. We can't romance. Oh, I'm not sure why it's giving me the option to potentially romance Pete, but hey ho. We can't romance with Anise with Branston yet. I'm not sure quite why. Branston tried romancing recently, must wait 9 days. So I guess we have to wait 9 days for them to get back together. Hopefully. Okay, so I've now built the hospital pretty much entirely with what we can do so far. So we've just got a few steel beds in here. Hopefully, it kind of helps towards if anything goes wrong, but I'm not too confident, honestly. Next thing I want to go through with you guys is the plan for the base. Now, as I have aforementioned, is that we want to do stuff with drugs with Pete, make him some sort of king bin, you know. And then with Anise, she's going to be head of the hotel/restaurant, and Branston is going to be our cook and just kind of everything. So I think the idea is I would like to split this map very equally into 3. We have one area to cook drugs, one area where we have a restaurant and some other food-related things, and then we have one area for the hotel. And I think having the hotel along the beach is probably the ideal. Makes sense to have beachside property as a hotel. Very nice. And then maybe have, like, grazing fields where we have natural fields here, down here as well as the farmland, and everywhere else we just have kind of dotted in with various bits of industry and things. Kind of want to make things very sort of building to building, have everything specialized as well. I think it will look quite nice. As like a sprawling resort, and a heat wave has begun. Thankfully, the drought is over, so we can still continue to grow things, but a heat wave isn't particularly ideal, but, you know, then again, we are playing with demons, so they're probably quite happy about this, honestly. Ooh, and we have a space battle that's going on, and Anise has stopped bathing. Reason space battle. Fair enough. Now, obviously, we can't pick up any colonists from this, unfortunately, as opposed to our house rules. But eventually, in the future, space battles would be very handy for the genes that people can potentially provide. So it's nice to know that we can still get them even with Empress Evil. Oh, so it turns out, and this completely went over my head, Anise can romance Branston. It's just Branston can't romance Anise. And there's a 100% chance. So we just go for that straight away. And new lovers. Perfect. And we've still got them set to try for baby as well, which is very convenient. Just, Anise, don't propose to him again. Just give it a few weeks, alright? Don't get me so keen. The space battle has ended, and there were absolutely no survivors. That's fair enough. That's absolutely fine. No worries. There we go. Easy peasy. And Anise is pregnant. Fantastic. The first baby is on the way. I knew it. I knew it. It was going to be nothing but time there. So we have a 25% plus gestation speed. So a normal pregnancy in humans lasts 18 days. So that's what? 14 days or so? Maths is over my strong point. But basically, it's not as long, which is fantastic. So I guess we set up a specific nursery room. I guess, as I said earlier with the plans of how we want the base, we need to work out where our people are actually going to live. Which kind of makes sense to maybe have them on this corner bit here. And then have everything else kind of sprawl out around. So, like, you know, the staff living area down here. And kind of close it all off. That would make the most sense. And the previous research has been completed. Not sure why it didn't pop up with a notification, but it's not a worry. Cheese making? We could make cheese. I'm not sure how we get milk, but cheese? I guess we need to wait for a trader to come along that has cows. Cows would be a good one to have. I like that. So I've queued up a large circle down here. This is going to be our nursery. I felt like it needed to be an actually quite a large building. Seeing as we're hoping to have, like, Anise pump out kids constantly, thought we should probably put some effort into it. What? Anise has already miscarried due to starvation. Literally only just became pregnant. How is she starving? The fridges are empty. Oh, drought and a heat wave, drought and a heat wave. Cheers, game. Cheers. Well, I'm sure she'll be pregnant again fairly soon. I'm sure. Yeah, there is literally no food on the map that we can harvest. And yeah, the drought and a heat wave is just not doing anything for our plants at all. Like, they're growing really slowly. So I guess we're gonna have to get John. You know, I don't want to stereotype her as an ogre, but you're gonna have to go around and kill a lot of animals for us, if that's okay, John. Hope that's okay. The last animal left on the map is this lovely, lovely hare. 7-year-old hare. That's impressive. It's a shame it's gotta die. That'll feed John for like maybe 10 minutes, you know? A very nice amount of food for her. And the heat wave is finally over. Fantastic. We are still in a drought though, so that's just not good at all, is it? Is it affecting any of the growth of the plants? Not really, but I think I'm very lucky that some things are still growing anyway, so hopefully we'll survive this. Now, we are going to have a lot of quests come up for the dilapidated research posts and various different places where we can get genetics. And honestly, I think I'm going to do them just because it will be going to a different tile, which doesn't necessarily have drought. And if we send John, it means that they can carry a lot, and we'll be able to kill the animals there. There we go. John has arrived at the research lab. Let's see what we can find here. Hopefully some food. Food, potentially? Yes, there are berries and things. Perfect. So let's go through the lab and see what we've got before we do anything else. Ooh, so John is actually being attacked by a Dracoraptor and has been set on fire. Oh no, John, that's not good. John, please. John has managed to lose her clothes as well. John has killed the Dracoraptor. That took some effort, John. You know, respect to you. And another animal's been found, a Thrumbo cat. John, please. Please don't die. Okay, John has managed to take down the Thrumbo cat, but is very unhealthy at the moment. Death in 5 hours. John, please, can you self-heal, please? Okay, so now that John has now pretty much completely sort of healed himself enough to be able, I think I'm going to go around and get him to actually harvest all of the berry bushes on the map, just so he's got some food and can somewhat survive. And even though I did say this is going to be full of genetic stuff, it turns out it's full of genetic things for animals rather than humans. So I'm not going to actually bother to loot the rest of this because none of this is actually relevant to us, honestly. Yes, I could deconstruct it all for the resources, but honestly, all I really want are the berries. So once John wakes up from his little nap, then we'll go around and get all of that. Okay, so I've got John to go around and harvest everything on the map. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get him just to take everything home. It's mainly just food, and that's about it. But honestly, I'm actually quite happy about that. And trait, depressive. Oh, what am I doing wrong? Guys, we've literally just started, alright? I know the restaurant business is failing and things aren't going very well. Colonist Pete's constant stress has made their depression become permanent. What are you stressed about? You are a 8-year-old child. What is wrong with you? Malnourished, depressive, No sous chef, no kitchen porter, no commis chef, no chef de partie. Bro, what? Come on. Things aren't that bad. So I guess we need to work on the IG Legion stuff next. This wasn't something I wanted to work on until we had enough colonists, but it's obviously needed. What would a IG Legion room for a bunch of chefs be? I feel like it would be like a big freezer. So maybe we work on like a big central kitchen for where we'll be making things. So like the idea of having the hotel and everything is the all-inclusive resort. Maybe we need to have like a central hub for chefs of the cooking. So like maybe like where this bit is here, we have like a big kitchen with a massive freezer where we can get everything to be like put in, all the production stuff. Sounds like a pretty good idea, actually. I think what I'll do first is do some stone cutting, though, so we can make it out of something a little bit better quality. And the drought is finally ending. Thank God for that. We might actually be able to grow some food now. This is perfect. And our first harvest of Black Beauty aubergines have come in. Wow, I'm so excited for these. John has returned back at the kitchen. Fantastic. Hopefully the load of food that she's brought back will be beneficial to us. There's no food. Oh, she's eating it. Shit, she's eating it all. Oh, well, turns out her little expedition was a complete waste of time. We've also found a Biotech xenotype lab. This one, I think, is one for actually finding xenotypes and gene backs for our people. So I'll definitely be going to this one once John has healed up. Okay, so John is fully healed again. So I guess we're going to have to send her back out just to go see if we can get more things. Her food is so big at the moment. Or anything just to help us along to do better in the future is going to be huge. I've readjusted the priorities as well, so Branston and Anise can spend more time together and do more research. Hopefully Anise can become pregnant again. Please. John has arrived at the abandoned biotech lab. Now, theoretically, these are the ones that have gene packs in, from what I understand. So, John, please, please don't die when you go through here. And a raid from the fearful hive. A group of insects have arrived nearby. They can probably smell John. They smell the food on him. John, this should be easy for you, though. Just one little friendly guy. Wipe him out. There we are. Easy peasy for John. Good job, John. Okay, so I can't, unfortunately, see what else we've got on the map at the moment because it's very, very dark. I think I'm just going to get into set up the caravan to leave. Because I actually can't see anything that's going on. Okay, so we do actually have quite a few things here. Mixed gene pack for very attractive random major animal summon and teal skin. Okay, that one's not too bad, to be fair. Another mixed gene pack for active mechanite dependency, pointed ears and devil eyes. That one isn't very good. Another mixed gene pack for lapis ascension, tail. Okay, cool. I guess that one's a handy one. I don't know. An alpha gene pack for deep orange hair and guttural voice. Sexy. And then we have another one for painless, which is very good. So good that I might actually get John to snaff all that down when we get back. And I think we're going to actually get John to go via LA Union, see if we can do some trading. Hey, I've arrived at these people here to trade with. I think I'm going to sell them all the gene packs except for the gene pack for painless. So we're going to be getting 744 silver from these people. We also probably want to do some buying from them because they have a lot of things that I'm potentially interested here. The only things that we actually need back at the base is food. So I think I'm going to spend all the money on food. Okay, so we're going to be buying ourselves 703 trouts. You know, as you do. And Anise is pregnant again, twice in one episode. We are so lucky. Are you malnourished? Yes, you are. Anise, you need to eat some food. Please consume the meals. I'm going to make her eat until she's no longer malnourished. That's how it works, isn't it? You just force feed somebody until they can't take any more? Right, so she is now only minorly malnourished. Anise, please, eat more food. Please. We can already inspect the baby's genes as well, and as you'd imagine, it is literally the exact same as Branston and Anise's. The only way this would ever change is if we removed some of the genes or added more genes, or if, for some reason, Branston and John get together, which really wouldn't be very convenient. What if Pete and John got together? That would also be very, very strange. And marriage is on. Congratulations. Star Anise, will you marry me? Thank you. Thank you, Branston. You realised how wrong you were by saying no the first time, and you're making up by it to Anise by asking her. Just so romantic. All these days and weeks and months you've spent together is really paying off. Caravan has arrived back at the kitchen. John has returned, bearing the goods of a dead ostrich, 703 trout, and a gene pack for Painless. John, are you not already painless as a great ogre? No, she is currently reduced pain as a great ogre. So what we could do is give the gene pack to somebody else and make them better. Maybe we give it to Anise. Maybe we make Anise like as good as we can, so then the genes will eventually pass down to her future children. I think that actually does make kind of a lot of sense, honestly. Anise, come snaffle that up. Perfect. And there we go. She is now in a xenogermination coma for 2 days. But honestly, I'd rather you not do anything because you're just constantly malnourished. There you go. So the nursery is now pretty much complete. And by complete, I mean I've built a few cots in the room and counting it as a nursery. I've gone for 6, mainly for symmetricalness. And that's about it. 6 is probably way too much. But who knows? Anise might be pumping them out left, right, and center. Who knows? There you go. Cheese making has been complete, and once again, no notifications. Very strange. So we've got modern furniture, food condiments, or casual wear. Funnily enough, we're going to be going for food condiments because I can't think of anything better than being able to make luciferium powder and mayonnaise. And Anise is now back up from her xenogermination coma. And you know what? Of all people for us to give Painless to, it makes the most sense for it to be Anise. Like, think about it. Anise is going to be pushing out kids left, right, and center. She needs this. This isn't a thing of, oh, let's make her more powerful and strong in combat. No. She needs this. She needs to be painless. Crikey. So, and Anise's pregnancy has progressed from the 1st to the 2nd trimester. Fantastic. So, we're about halfway there in terms of having children. So, I reckon that roughly works out to having a child every other episode. So I think on that note, we are going to call this episode here. This episode has been entirely based around Anise and John in terms of making more food, getting more food, and hoping that Anise gets the food. This episode has been a fantastic one in terms of progress, honestly. We've started actually getting food from the farm come in. We've actually started working on the research a little bit more. A lot of the progress that we make with this series is going to be totally reliant on what children Anise pumps out. And in order for us to maximize how many children we pump out and the efficiency of that, it's going to be totally down to just the time I can spend on these episodes. So if you have enjoyed today's episode and are excited to see the child that Anise pumps out next episode, consider liking, subscribing, and make sure you tell your mum about it. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.